You're welcome to episode 3 of the Purpose Podcast. I'm here with
Diggy.
Joey.
A special guest today. We have my best friend, Joey. We're here in Arizona. We came out here for the weekend to have a good time. I want to apologize first and foremost. We've kind of been out of the game for a little bit. We had some technical difficulties that went down, so, that tends to happen. Life happens. So, again, I apologize, but we kind of want to get into a better schedule of uploading weekly. That's kind of the plan as of right now. And we're also trying to plan on getting these podcasts up on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. That's kind of the plan that we got going right now, but I think we can go ahead and dive in right away. Joe, first question for you is, at what age do you think you would say that your mental health struggles kind of began?
Oh, starting heavy right off the bat.
Right off the bat, man.
Well, first off, appreciate you boys for coming out this weekend. It's been fun.
Appreciate you for having us,
coming all the way out here just to have me on the podcast. It's been good. But
hey, man, we got to do what we got to do.
Yeah, when did my first, when did they start? I don't know. I've been kind of weird my whole life where, like, I'm a very stubborn person in, like, anything that I do. So I feel like I didn't really, accept it until I was, 18, 19 when I had my first, panic attack. And I was like, oh, this is what it is. Oh, wait, can I swear on this?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was like, oh, shit, this is what it is. So I was like, dude, this.
Yeah, it's like, wait, can I cut?
I don't know.
Hey, free range to do whatever you want on this podcast.
I was like, yeah, man, this sucks. And I remember, I think I was just driving and I had to, pull over because I was just like, wow. My heart was beating and I was just, freaking out. I froze. And I was like,
would you say,
shocked.
Your first anxiety attack?
Yeah, no, it was my first anxiety attack. And, I believed it in the past, but it never happened to me. So it's like, oh, yeah, I believe in it, but I don't know. Since I never had that experience, I was like, yeah, sure, man. Yeah, this is real. But so I guess 18, 19.
So I guess the question kind of turns into you said that's kind of when you had your first anxiety attack. But do you think that's kind of when you first started struggling in terms of I don't know, I want to say maybe depression, or do you think anxiety was a thing prior to an anxiety attack? Because there is a difference between having an anxiety attack and going through anxiety. You know what I mean?
No, 100%.
So would you say that was the first time when there's a difference between when you realize it, but also do you think prior to that experience, do you think you were dealing with anxiety, depression, or some sort of bipolar or something like that?
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say bipolar or anything that's diagnosed by a doctor. Because I don't know. I've always been good where I've been able to handle my own stuff. But yeah, I've never gotten to a point where I thought it was either bipolar or it was something that was more serious where I had to get, go to a doctor to get it prescribed for.
Right.
But I guess that was kind of the age where I kind of started realizing that it was more important to figure out ways to kind of, I guess, combat it and I don't know, fight through it.
Right. So would you say looking back now though, so again, going back to the same question, would you say looking back on it now, would you say that prior to that one experience of you having an anxiety attack, would you say that you kind of realized that you were going through some sort of depression when you were younger?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I definitely had a tough upbringing that was, I wouldn't say normal compared to other kids.
Yeah.
So I think it kind of started early on. So I think me dealing with that might have been different. And I guess the way I dealt with it was different than how other people dealt with it. So I don't know if I was just able to process it and realize that it was anxiety or it was depression. I mean, fortunately, the stuff I've been through, I've never been suicidal, or I've never been to the point where it's I want to end it all, which is, good, because obviously it sucks for people who get to that point.
Right.
But I've always kind of been able to, in a sense, block it out, where it's I get these things have happened, but it's kind of just move on to the next. So I think for me, sports has always been my escape in any anxiety or any pressure that I've felt in my life.
So you mentioned that you try to block it out. Would you say that that's necessarily a good thing? Yes and no kind of thing?
Yeah. I mean, yes and no. I think, like I said, sports was kind of my way of blocking it out and my way of dealing with it. And that's why I've kind of pursued that my whole life, whether it's coaching football with you or, majoring in sports management, now working at ASU in the athletic department. But it's my thing. I said this in my interview for my job. I was like, every time I step on a football field for those 2-3 hours that I'm at practice or I'm at that game, like that's the only thing that matters to me in the world. Like literally around the stadium, there could be a fire. The world could literally be ending around the stadium. But for that moment of time, that's all I'm worried about. And that's always been my escape ever since I was a little kid. Because I started playing football when I was like 6. So like that literally sports and football were like my first love. So I think at that young of an age, I didn't realize that that was my escape. But I think now being older, it's like, oh yeah, this is what helped me kind of not have those suicidal thoughts or been able to kind of deal with it. Whether that's playing it, whether that's watching it, no matter what level, it's like that's definitely what's kind of helped me out throughout my life and kind of deal with my problems and troubles.
Right.
So talk to us a little bit more about your early life situation, because you kind of hinted about it, how it is a little bit different from probably anyone else that you grew up around with. So if you don't mind.
Yeah, I mean, no, I'm an open book at this point, but yeah. So everyone just buckle up, I guess.
Okay, wait. Let me get cozy real quick.
Yeah, let everyone get cozy. Grab your drink.
We're gonna get real cozy listening to the story. Joe and I have been best friends for a really long time, so it's a story that I've definitely heard before, but again, it's difficult to listen to. So I mean, you got the floor, Joe. It's all you.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give the version of it, kind of the Spark Note version, because we would be here for 5 hours. But anyway. Yeah, so born in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, capital of Pennsylvania, and then lived with my mom and dad, and then my half-sister from my mom from a previous marriage. So was living with them, Harrisburg, kind of bounced around a lot of houses, moved probably 8+ times in the 6 years, 5.5 years I lived with them. But yeah, no, it was kind of tough. I mean, there's good things, there's bad things about it. Parents were drug addicts, alcoholics. Dad's, I guess, drug of choice was heroin. So, I mean, there's definitely vivid memories of me seeing him do it and him just telling me it was medicine. So it's like kind of growing up with that, like, oh, it's medicine. Like, you have no idea. I mean, I'm 5 years old. And the brain develops so much from, I mean, I guess technically 0 when you're born, or whatever, 1, whatever it starts, I don't know, till, 10, 7, I don't know. The brain develops a lot during those early ages. So it was kind of tough to, I guess, cope with that and understand that later on in life. But yeah, so he kind of chose to do heroin. My mom, I think pills, also alcohol, same with my dad. But no, I remember it was just kind of tough because obviously at that age, it's all you know. And that's like, you don't realize what's going on. So just kind of memories of my parents fighting when I was young and then just moving pretty much every 6 months just because we couldn't pay the rent, this and that. My dad getting kicked out of apartment complexes we were living in, seeing him get arrested when I was like 5. I remember vividly like him teaching me to tie my shoes. My mom got mad, called the cops on him. So, he got arrested, and I was like, as a young kid, oh, I don't know what's going on. And it's, I don't know, some crazy things happened. I remember like hiding my parents' cigarettes when I was a kid and having a no smoking sign on my door. And then I eventually came out to live with my aunt and uncle when I was like 5, 6 and a half. Literally with an inhaler because I had secondhand smoke asthma because they would smoke so much in the house. It was just like crazy stuff like that. But then also, my parents were loving. They never hit me. They never yelled at me. I would say it's not the best thing to grow up in, but I remember going with my dad to work. He was a painter, so he painted buildings, painted houses, things like that. I would literally go to work with him and like paint, some walls or whatever. And then he would obviously, touch up what I painted, but like going to work with him instead of going to school, them really buying me whatever I wanted. Like, I was playing Grand Theft Auto at like 5 years old. Oh, dude, when I lived with my aunt and uncle, that was the biggest, I was pissed. I was like, I can't play this game anymore. I was like, that's my favorite game to play. Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, that game I have.
Oh wait, that game was
phenomenal.
I can't lie, man.
I cheat coded that game. So I was like 7 years old, I was like, I can't play this game? Like, this is stupid. But yeah, no, it was just things like that. But I mean, it was tough with everything I was going through, but at the same time, I've kind of learned that addiction is really a disease, and it's something that it's taken me a while to. I definitely blame myself for what I went through and what happened with my parents because I didn't know what was happening. And I remember when I first went to live with my aunt and uncle in the suburbs of Chicago in Naperville. Again, I don't remember the exact age. It was like December. I was like 5, 6 and a half, whatever. My granddad picked me up, and then I went lived with them for like 2 weeks, and it was supposed to be there. My parents were going to go to rehab, get better. I was eventually going to go back, live with them. I mean, 2 weeks turned into 2 months, 2 months turned into 2 years. eventually got adopted, and then yeah, that's kind of where I'm at now. And then I ended up getting adopted by my aunt and uncle, and then moved to California, and now I'm out in Arizona. So that's kind of the Spark Note version of it. I'm more than happy to go into more detail, but that's kind of just the brief childhood story of what I went through.
Right. I think my biggest question here is, in terms of the whole adoption situation,
Yeah.
what was the process through that? Was it difficult to go through, or was it like kind of like a breath of fresh air, or it was like kind of like somebody finally came in to save you in a sense?
Yeah, I mean, I think everything's kind of more so a perspective of looking back on it. And it's like now I realize my aunt and uncle are like my heroes because they literally saved my life and changed my life for the better.
Right, but what about in like the moment?
Oh, in the moment. No, again, like I said, in the moment, I mean, I literally vividly remember, you know, my gramps picking me up, and I stayed the night at his house, and then I went on a plane by myself at like 5.5 years old to fly out from Harrisburg to Chicago, where my aunt and uncle picked me up. And again, at first it was supposed to be for a couple months. My parents were going to go to rehab, kind of get better, and then I was supposed to, you know, go back and live with them. Of course, that didn't happen just because they weren't able to support themselves, let alone support a kid. So then, you know, I kind of realized I also was late behind in school because I remember I moved out there in like December of my kindergarten year. So I was essentially kind of homeschooled, and then they just started me that next year later. So I was always a year older for my grade growing up. But no, I mean, the adoption process, and then, yeah, it kind of just went from 2 months. I was like, okay, I'm going to be with my aunt and uncle for a while. And then I was officially adopted in 4th grade. And I mean, for me, it was a good time. We had an adoption party, and it was fun. We got like a blow up thing.
Milk and cookies. Drunk off the milk and
No, dude, yeah, it was wild. We like literally bought like 200 burgers from McDonald's, just like cheeseburgers.
What?
Damn.
Yo, that's
like,
200 burgers?
Like, yeah, I had like a whole adoption party in 4th grade.
How many people you know?
Wait, what?
I was a cool guy.
Yeah, hold on. This guy's in 4th grade. And he's got 200 burgers pulled up.
I don't know if it was that big, but no, we had our friends
No, that's
there,
hilarious.
and like the house we lived in Naperville, we kind of lived on like a hill, so we rented like a huge like inflatable slide that you would just like slide down. So my adoption party was fun. So I was officially adopted in 4th grade. So the process took, I guess, what is that, 4 years, 5 years to officially take place. And of course, I don't really know all the legal stuff behind it. I know there's kind of a lot in that process. So again, kind of, you know, that's all Craig and Carol for that. But again, at first, I didn't know how long I was going to be there, and then it eventually just turned into them adopting me officially.
Do you have any siblings that kind of went through the same thing as you, or was it kind of just like you're the primary, like?
Yeah, I mean, I briefly mentioned with my half sister from my mom, who she had with a previous marriage before my dad.
Do you have any contact with her at all?
Yeah, we talk. We haven't talked in a couple months, but she just had a kid, and she's still in the Harrisburg area. She's married now, so I think she lives. I wonder how now, but she was mostly with her biological dad, and then she would visit often when I was a kid and stuff. So yeah, no, we were pretty close when I was a kid. We still talk here and there. But she didn't have the same effect because she was able to live with her dad, and I don't really know that whole story because I was young, and I talked to her, but haven't talked to her in that, I guess, depth.
Do you see her at all?
I mean, she visited a couple times because she's the same age as one of my aunt and uncle's kids, so my cousin, who now is my sister because I was adopted, so she's the same age as one of my sisters now, Veronica. So she came out to Naperville a couple times, and then last time we were in Harrisburg when I was like a senior in high school, so 5-6 years ago now. I saw her then, so I haven't seen her in a couple of years, but we like text happy birthday, you know, holiday stuff to each other, stuff like that.
Right. So I want to ask a question more specifically about your parents. So obviously the whole process happened. You know, you saw how everything like affected you, and everything was obviously like it didn't go well.
Yeah.
To say the least. Do you still currently have a relationship with either one of them? Like, do you ever see them? Do you have like, you know, weekly, or like how often do you speak to them, if so at all?
No, I do. That's a good thing. That I think my situation is fortunate where I didn't go into like a foster home and had to go through that whole process because that would have been terrible. I mean, I don't know about it, but yeah. Fortunately, I still speak to them. Usually about once or twice a week to once every 2 weeks. So I talked to my mom yesterday, which was good. She usually texts me just random updates, like we talk on the phone. Same thing with my dad. Once every 2 weeks, once every 3 weeks, we usually talk, which is good. Dad's in Baltimore, Maryland, where he's from, and then mom's still in Harrisburg, so they're separated, but they're doing well. I mean, they're clean, which is good. And obviously, like I said, it's an addiction, so it's like, it's a tough lifestyle to kind of live with, but I mean, they're lucky to be alive, to be honest, because they're both late 50s, I think early 60s.
When was the last time you saw either one of them?
When I went back for my cousin's funeral, senior year of high school, so again, like 5 or 6 years ago. So I was able to see both of them at that time, but before that, probably 6 years before, so it's like, I've seen him twice in the last 10 to 11, 12 years.
Damn.
Yeah.
You mentioned that funeral for your cousin.
Yeah.
You and I played football together, and I saw that you had a pair of cleats.
Surprised you remember this, yeah.
No, dude, trust me. Dude, here's the thing is that, like I said, a lot of you, may know. The people that watch this probably know. Joe and I are really good friends. These cleats, I remember seeing them vividly, and I feel like I remember seeing you write on them, maybe. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that is true or not, but...
No, it isn't.
So, that being said, just the fact that you felt almost the need to, like, write those on your cleats and stuff like that, like, would you say that that was also another thing that kind of played a role in, like, any mental health struggles that you have, or what was, like, the relationship with that cousin that... Because, again, like, in my past experiences, like, I've had family members pass and stuff like that. So I know what it's like, obviously, but was that something that kind of, like, was, like, a downfall to, like, mental health issues, maybe?
I mean, I would say so in the beginning. We weren't, like, super close, and so, again, my family tree, as you call it, is very confusing because adopted by my aunt and uncle, so, like, their kids were technically my cousins, but I call them my sisters. I still call my aunt and uncle, not mom and dad. So that cousin, if I still live with my biological parents, I wouldn't really have a relationship to, but they were my uncle's sister's kids. Yes, yeah, uncle's sister's kids.
I'm a little lost, but okay.
It was Craig's sister.
All right.
Kids.
Okay.
Okay, I guess I can follow that.
So,
and they're from Pennsylvania.
Uncle Craig,
yes.
Right?
So the relationship, my mom and my Aunt Carol are sisters biologically.
Okay,
They're
so
sisters.
Uncle Craig is your uncle by marriage.
By marriage, not by blood.
Got it.
I have no
Oh,
blood
okay.
relation to him.
Got
So
it.
the cousin who passed away was Craig's sister's kid, so no blood relation.
Got it.
But most of my family kind of is from the East Coast. That's where Craig and Carol met in Pennsylvania. That's where my cousins live. So yeah, no, it was tough. I mean, it was a tough situation because again, I lived with my aunt and uncle since I was like 6, so pretty much every other summer we go up there and visit them in Pennsylvania because that's where Craig's parents live. So my Gramps and Grammy. So again, not biological, but who I knew as my Gramps and Grammy. That's where they lived in Pennsylvania, and then my cousins live like 10 minutes away. So yeah, I grew up knowing them, and then he passed away at the age of 21. I don't want to get into that because that's a story. But yeah, so no, we were pretty close, and then his brother, Trevor, is my age, who you've met, and then Maddie as well, their sister, who's about 2 years younger. So yeah, no, they're pretty close, and then it's actually cool. In his honor, Skylar, they opened a distillery in central Pennsylvania, so if you guys are ever central Pennsylvania,
I'll be there.
Dead Lightning
I'll be
Distillery.
there.
It's actually super dope what they've done. They've had it open for like 4 years. It's like a town favorite. I have yet to be there in person, so like I want to go and check it out. I have some of their merch, but no, it's super cool what they did to like honor him. But yeah, I think when he passed, the least I could do is write the date that he passed, which was 5/30/16 on my cleats. And then also I always wore tape on my left wrist, so I wrote that on my left wrist. And then his initials SM for Skylar Montgomery. So it was like the least I could do just to kind of honor him. So I did that for him, and yeah, I wouldn't say we were like super close, but I grew up visiting them every summer, every other summer. So yeah, I don't know if that really affected my mental health too much. Not as messed up as it seems, but I've always been kind of a person who's like shelled off, or I mean, you know, I'm not really an emotional person. So I kind of built up a brick wall of like just a stone-faced guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, I'm friends with, you know, a decent amount of people, and I think the most stone cold person I have ever met has got to be Joey.
Yeah, it's a blessing and a curse.
Dude, there's been situations where more recently, yeah, you remember this. We were in CARP and we had probably the deepest conversation that you and I have ever had together.
Yeah.
And I was fucking in tears, bro. And this guy's stone cold, and I couldn't fathom the fact that we're having such a deep conversation. He's talking about his past in more detail than he's gone to here. Obviously, I don't know. I don't think that's probably somewhere where we want to go with that.
No. Yeah.
But it was to a point where I'm like, dude, this is like, how the fuck do you not have emotions? You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously you do, but I'm just saying more in the scope of the fact that I was in a position where I was tearing up, I was because Joe at this point is an inspiration to me, and I've said this to him before. Joe's an inspiration, the stuff that he's gone through, and I don't know, the upbringing that he's had is again, like he mentioned before, it's something that not a lot of people go through. So I just think it's damn near psychotic, the fact that this guy can't fucking at least shed one tear.
Let me defend myself a little bit. I don't know if this is
while you do that, I'm gonna go potty.
All right.
Okay.
Well, maybe I missed this one.
You tell me, bro. I'll listen.
Alright, so the one thing about me crying is I'm not really a crier. I'm not, like Dave said, I'm not that, I don't show emotion that well, but I guess, which I don't really remember, which my uncle told me was, when I first moved with them, it's kind of sad, but I would literally cry myself to sleep every other night.
Right.
For the first year that I lived with them. Because, again, at that such young age, I kind of tended to blame myself.
Yeah.
Which has definitely resulted in the way I act towards my relationships now, whether that's romantically or just
friendships. Yeah.
So I definitely see that stemming now, 15 years later. But yeah, no, I guess I literally cried myself to sleep every night, every other night. So I don't know if it's messed up, but jokingly, I'm yeah, man, I just have no more tears left.
No,
they're all gone.
Dude, I get it, bro. I get it.
It's messed up, but that's, yeah. So I don't know. Now it's just, like he said, I'm kind of stone cold, where I'm just.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I get it, cause I'm the same way. We've been friends since what? Probably maybe.
Sophomore year,
Yeah.
6 years, 6 years now.
Yeah, something like that, right? Maybe a little bit longer.
I don't know. We're getting old now, so I don't know. Maybe
Yeah, I
5,
don't know.
7 years, whatever.
I graduated in 2018.
Yeah.
How many years ago was that? 4?
I don't know. A couple years, whatever.
Whatever. Anyways, since I've known you, I've never seen you get emotional or super angry or anything. You've always been very cool, mellow, and you don't really stand up for yourself, which kind of makes me upset.
It's kind of messed up. Man.
Wait,
No.
facts.
He
That's
does
actually
it, though.
facts.
He does it.
Facts.
Yeah.
And it's not taking a shot at you. Is that I feel I've found myself in a position where I defend you more than you defend yourself, which again I don't think is necessarily a bad thing, but you're just not a confrontational person.
Yeah.
And you would rather let these things kind of sort themselves out as opposed to really letting yourself just dive into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean.
Even last night, bro. We're not gonna get into that, but you were I don't know what to do.
I completely forgot that was a conversation. But no, yeah, we're not gonna talk about it
I
here.
don't know if
But
I remember. Well,
No, you
we'll
don't
talk there.
well-
What part?
your moving situation.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yes. Okay, yeah. No,
We don't have to go. We don't have to go.
No. That's a good thing to bring up. Yeah, no, definitely not that confrontational type of person. I think, not that I am a doormat by any means. I'll stand up for myself when I have to, but I'm more, I guess, I don't know, to make myself look better, more easygoing.
Joe kind of took offense to the fact that we said that he kind of
walked over it, well, a little bit, but no, yeah.
No, you don't though. I'm not saying that you.
I'm not a fighter, but yeah, I just let things kind of just brush off, and it's if it's something that I can handle or live with, it's okay, yeah, that's cool. So yeah, I'm not, I don't know. But I'll stand up for something if I have to, but at the same
do you
time,
think it's a good thing though? You know what I'm saying?
no, again, it's something that stems back from my past, and I think that's, like I mentioned, Diggy. It's I'm still learning things about myself in any relationship that I have and how I interact with people.
Yeah.
And I think that definitely stems from that early childhood stuff that I went through, where it's learning how to deal with, problems, whether that's any relationship I have, and
It's, dude,
whether
honestly.
it's any problems that I go through. But yeah, no, definitely, I'm not a yeller where if
No,
I'm
you're not.
upsetting you, I don't know the last time I screamed at someone. I
Yeah,
just
you're just
can't.
gonna let it
And-
kind of be.
You just stop talking to those people.
Yeah, I kind of just shell myself. I go to a show where I'm just kind of quiet, and it's okay, whatever. I kind of just let it brush off my shoulder. But like if I'm mad at you, I won't like yell at you.
Yeah.
I'll like kind of bring something up like slightly, but I'm not. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. No,
I
I
don't
get what
want
you're
to beat around
saying.
the bush, but it's just like, yeah, I'm not gonna confront you face to face.
No, I get it.
Whatever
Yeah.
the issue is. So no, definitely don't think it's a good thing, but I don't know. Just
The way it is.
what I'm still learning about myself, which is
Yeah.
it's a process, which I think we all are going through.
I get it.
Do you have anything to go off of that? I have my next question that
No.
I'm gonna touch on.
Go for it. Go for it.
So really briefly, you touched on the fact that like your other relationships with people and like how you have interesting relationships with people, or it's not.
Yeah.
It's not like what's the word I'm looking for? It's more so like you kind of tiptoe around building new relationships because of your past, right? Would you say that that's fairly accurate?
In a way, yes. Yeah. I mean, I guess it depends on the situation, but yeah, I agree.
So why? Okay, so you said that it roots back to, when you were younger, like your childhood. Like, why would you say that your relationships and like friendships are more? Would you say that they're more difficult for you to like fall into now as opposed to when you were younger, or is it like? Are you in a position where you're more standoffish when meeting somebody new or trying to build a new relationship with somebody, whether it be romantic or like a friendship?
The way I look at it is I feel like I'm like a nice guy and like I won't have like ill will towards you if like you don't do me wrong. Like I'll always give someone a chance, no matter like I don't know. I feel like I'm the type of person where there's some people I hang out with that necessarily like you or Diggy won't like, and like I'll like, and then vice versa. Like if I hang out with them,
Like who?
but
You're not gonna put somebody on blast.
Like who? I want to know. I'll bleep it out.
no, this is good.
No, we'll believe it out.
Like Feaster,
I don't even know him.
like Dave.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really.
I don't like this guy. Yeah.
Exactly, but like I fuck him. So like, please bleep me out.
No, we'll believe it out. We'll believe it out.
Anyway,
We have to.
I feel like I give people chances that not necessarily others won't, but if they don't do anything wrong to me, I'm not gonna be wrong to them.
So would you say that you're like an extremely loyal person?
I'd say I'm loyal, and it's also like the way I kind of have my relationships is I have really good friends, but I'm also where I don't need to talk to you every day. Yeah. No. This is definitely something that I want to work on, but.
Well, no. Hang on. Before you continue, and I don't mean to cut you off, but I think that's a relationship that us three have.
Yeah.
Like fucking heavy, actually.
Yeah.
Like you're in Arizona. You're obviously like, because here's the thing. When Joe and I it was like the peak of our friendship, which I would say that we're still in that peak. Like Joe and I are.
We're in the honeymoon phase, right?
I think Joe and I are like extremely, extremely close. But I think one of the biggest things is the fact that I like to take away is we don't have to fucking talk every day.
No.
We don't, because the thing is like every conversation we have, we pick up right where we left off the last time, and it's the same thing with Diggy. Diggy and I don't talk every day.
No, we don't.
We don't, but like every other day in a sense, just because we're doing the podcast.
Yeah, we're trying to figure
just
stuff out.
and we like to hang out, but in terms of like my relationship with Joe is the type of person that like I guarantee that everybody has this type of friend. Is you have the type of friend where you guys just hang out because you don't know what to do. You just hang out and you just end up doing nothing together, which at times ends up being some of the best times ever in my opinion. But again, I guarantee it's a relationship that a lot of people have. So Joe and I, like I said, we don't have to talk every day, but I think that roots from the fact that like our relationship is so like deep rooted, you know what I mean? To a point where like, again, we don't have to talk every day.
Yeah. So I think it also stems for me, I guess us growing older, where like that's kind of life, where like your friends will move away from high school, they'll live in different states, where like you're probably not going to talk to
Yeah, you
everyone
separate.
your friends every single day.
I'm gonna keep it a sec. I don't want to talk to you every day.
Exactly. Well, okay.
I mean, like since you moved, I've only talked to you twice, and that was it.
No, I mean, yeah, 100%.
Is that
So,
kind
like,
of beef?
Yeah, it's a little bit of beef
Is there
there.
beef?
We've been talking about it.
There's no beef. This is how I need to work on it.
See, look at how he's deflecting
No.
it. Look how he's deflecting it.
I'm saying, I feel like as people grow older, like it's just kind of what
No,
happens when you get
100%.
older in life.
Agree.
Especially
No, just
when
pull
you.
your
I know.
nuts.
Yeah, no, I don't want to talk to you guys every day.
We're gonna fight after this.
Jesus, man. But no, I think that's one part of it, and then also, I guess going back to how I am, like relationshiply. I don't even know if that's a word.
No, it's not. But keep going.
How I am
Relationship-wise.
in my relationship.
There you go.
Yeah, how I am in my
This guy's an
relationships. You guys got me flushed. You guys.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
But like, I think one good example for me to kind of boost myself up a little bit because you guys are shitting on me is like I don't talk to someone every day, and literally I feel like Arizona's a melting pot of people from the Midwest, from a bunch of states. Like not many people are literally from Arizona that you meet. But like I had one girl that I literally was friends with in middle school. Have not talked to her since 8th grade. Saw her in a store. She was out here in Phoenix. I guess her parents bought a house here. Slid up on her store. I was like, oh hey, like see you in Phoenix, like down to hang out, whatever. So I went and hung out with like her and her friends. And again, haven't talked to her in 8 years.
She's bad.
And
you know,
no, we're friends. But no, I just think it's also like where I don't have an ill will where like I feel like I can kind of hit up anyone, and there could be that distance in time where like we don't talk, but I'm cool hanging out with you. Like you know, my friend Ryan, who
Ironman, right?
Ironman, yeah. So he's a pitcher. I don't know where he's playing now. He's still pitching great. Hopefully he makes it to the majors. That's what his goal is. But he was training out in Scottsdale last year. Haven't seen him since like 8th grade. Again, slid up on a show, like, hey man, like, love to hang out with you, grab a beer, like if you're free or whatever. We ended up going on like a 3-day bender last year. It's phenomenal. But again,
This guy Joe might be an alcoholic.
But again,
I'm kidding.
But again,
AZ's changed you.
no, bro.
Oh, man.
I don't think it was AC that changed me. But like we were literally talking one day. We were like, yeah, man, we haven't seen each other in years, but like it feels like it hasn't been that long, and we were just able to click like that. So I feel like I'm good with, you know, still clicking with people, still kind of having that good energy with people, like getting along with people, and not necessarily having to talk to them every day.
Yeah.
But I still think that's definitely something that I want to work on with like my close relationships, whether it's like my family, you, Garrett, who's one of my best friends in Chicago, and like things like that. So it's definitely something that I know I should work on, but in my mind it's like, yeah, I don't have to talk to you every day because we're still cool. We can go X amount of time without talking, and I won't have any hard feelings. I'm like, yeah, let's hang out. Like, I don't care how long it's been. So, I don't know, that's kind of my stance on it.
Yeah.
But,
So, really quick, kind of shifting gears a little bit. You mentioned Garrett, really quick.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah, let's talk about Garrett. Let's talk about Garrett.
yeah. All right, relax, buddy.
No, I'm just saying, bro. I'm just saying. We can talk about something else besides Garrett, too.
No, my question about Garrett is, so you mentioned that, here's the thing. I'm kind of tight about this. I'm going to keep it a stack. Garrett is Joe's number 1 best friend.
Yeah.
That makes me number 2, unfortunately. But, again, I could tip it, honestly, like this guy.
What makes you number 2, though?
Just the fact that I think that they met each other.
He's self-proclaimed.
No, but like, what about other people in Joey's life?
Dave just likes to say he's number 2.
Okay, yeah,
I-
okay.
wait,
Proceed,
what the
proceed.
fuck?
I'm not.
Let's give him that.
I'm not saying I'm number 2. I'm just saying there's other people that could be number 2.
Yeah, they're not.
Okay, go
They're
on.
not.
Yeah.
If you're watching this and you think you're number 2 best friend Joey, yeah, rethink your fucking situation.
All right, go on.
Anyway,
Let Dave have his flowers. Give him
what
his
the
flowers.
fuck?
I'm kidding.
No, this is weird.
I'm kidding.
This is weird.
Kidding.
Guy.
Continue with the
Anyway,
question.
so your relationship with Garrett. So you, again, he's been one of your best friends for like extremely long time.
Since we met in 4th grade, so yeah.
So when you moved in with Aunt Carol and Uncle Craig.
Yeah, I moved in kindergarten. Yeah, so I met him in elementary school. 4th
Okay.
grade, yeah.
Would you say that was like a relationship that you kind of value a lot because it was in your transition period in terms of like going from your parents to like Aunt Carol and Uncle Craig?
I mean, yeah, I would say so. Again, I met him 4th grade, so like 3 or 4 years after I lived with them, but I was so young, so like I had elementary school friends or whatever playing football. But yeah, no, he's definitely my number 1 best friend. Sorry, Dave.
So fucked.
But yeah, no, he knows the most about me, and he's always been there like for me. And I think that's also another cool thing is like we don't talk every day, and literally I think it's cool that I was living in Naperville until 8th grade, then I moved to California before freshman year of high school, and it's gonna be 9 or 10 years since I moved to California in like June or July, and we're still good friends. Like we still Snapchat. He still comes to visit me. I don't go out there that much, but he flies free for standby, so
It's easier for him to
easier for him to come see
Yeah,
me.
well, like, honestly, I've only met Garrett once, and he's a pretty cool guy. You know, like,
Yeah.
we talk in the group chat every now and then.
Yeah,
we
no,
tease
it's
each
cool.
other.
We still have
You
group chats
know?
with him, and like I'm still
tease each other.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But,
I'm
you know, he's a
still-
cool guy. He's a cool guy.
Yeah, and I'm still in the group chat with like my friends from middle school in Naperville. So
Oh, what? That's sick as fuck.
yeah, so like I don't obviously talk in that group chat as much because they usually hang out because they're still together and stuff. But it's like cool going back to it where I'm kind of the person where like I don't burn bridges if there's nothing to
Yeah, if you happen to be out there.
Yeah, exactly. So like, I think it's cool that I'm still in the group chat with them because I haven't seen them in a while, but it's still like I still consider them my friends. But yeah, no, Garrett's definitely like my number one best friend just because I've known him for that long. He's known everything I've been through. I kind of know what he's been through and stuff. So I think it's cool to have that relationship. I think it's important for anyone to have that type of friend and have that relationship. But yeah, so sorry.
Yeah, whatever. I actually want to ask you a question in terms of relationships built, and this is something that I've kind of noticed like on my own, is that a lot of the friends that you have, and a lot of people that you hang out with, and a lot of people that you talk to, you know, fairly frequently, are people that have been around for a long time.
Yeah.
You don't have a ton of like new friends. You know what I mean? Which, again, in my opinion, isn't necessarily a bad thing, because at this point it seems like you've picked the right people to talk to, the right people to hang out with, and stuff like that. So my question now is, do you think it's more difficult for you to make friends because of trust issues that you've had in the past, or just like relationship issues that you've had in the past? Again, I'm just saying this in terms of like not only like friendships but also relationships. Do you think that you're more inclined to like kind of stick to the circle that you've had as opposed to make new friends? I know you've made new friends more recently moving out here.
Call me a loser? Or what are you trying to say?
No, I just mean the fact that, dude, you're a fuck you for one. No, I'm just talking about in the sense that like when you're here, you obviously in a sense you're kind of forced to make new friends because like you don't have the other people around you. You know what I'm saying? But like even I'm the same way. Like making new friends is just like one. I don't want to say that I don't like to make new friends, but at the same time, like, it puts me in a position where I'm less likely to be hurt, and I'm less likely that you, like, run into trust issues, like, have issues with these people. Would you say that it's better, in a sense, for you to just kind of, like, stick to what you know, or, you know what I mean? Like, you see
No,
what
yeah, I know what you're
like,
saying. I mean, I think also, like, when I moved out here, it was, like, January 2020 when I transferred to GCU, and, like, they don't have a Greek life or anything, and I didn't really want to be in a frat anyways, but I mean, COVID happened 2 months later, so it's like I didn't have the college experience that I was thinking I was going to have when I transferred out here. So it was also tough to make friends. I mean, one of the reasons I came out here was I already knew some people that lived out here. Like Colin was out here, who's now in Boise, was my roommate. Nikos was out here from high school. So like I had like 4 or 5 people that I knew, like Bailey and Robbie, who I lived with for a year. So like, I had some people that I knew, so I wasn't going there 100% fresh. And I think for me, I think that helped me just because I wanted to know some people and not just kind of go in there blind, so to say. So I think, yeah, loyalty is definitely a big thing for me, like knowing people. But then also one of the, I don't know if it's a quote or whatever the saying is, it's like, you're more likely to be like the 5 people you hang around most is like who shapes you or whatever the saying is.
Show me your friends and I'll show you your future. How about that one?
Yeah, that one. Yeah. I didn't plug your last podcast. It's great. Listen, but yeah, no, that one is also like the 5 people you hang out with most. Is like
I broke the seal. I'm gonna go pee again.
Is like who shapes
oh
you.
Oh my god! Go on, Joey.
This is why he's number 2.
Yeah.
But
no, I get it.
Yeah, so I think that was also important. So like just knowing some people, but then I think I've been able to make some friends kind of based off people I knew that were already out here.
Yeah.
From their friends that they've made out here. So I've been able to make some friends out here, but it's definitely been a transitional period of moving out here, kind of being on my own, and it's just different because I came to college out here and I was like, yeah, I'll always go back home to California. Like that's what happened the last year.
Yeah, it's home.
And then I just got the opportunity at ASU, and it's like, oh shit, like I actually live out here. So it's different from going to college out here where it's like, yeah, I'm here for X amount of months and I always go back home to California. But now it's like my house or where I live is in Arizona. And it's just a different aspect in that sense where it's like, oh shit, like you going home this is your home now.
Yeah.
Like, your family's gonna be in California, but this is where your job is, this is kind of where you're building your life. So it's different in that sense of living here in college and then now living here starting my professional career.
Right. Okay. So I'm moving to San Diego. We both know this. In a couple months from now. No, yeah, okay. But see, here's the thing. I only know my sister and her girlfriend. It's pretty much it. I mean, there's a couple, like, few friends here and there. But, like, as far as meeting friends, that's something, like, or, like, making new friends is something, like, I'm, like, kind of, like, worried about. Like, dude, how am I going to do it? Because I haven't made friends like that in a very long time. Yeah. So, like, starting over is kind of, like, going to be, like, crazy to me because it's, like, I got to figure this out. So, like, what would you recommend Like if that was you, like in that situation.
I mean, no, it's definitely tough. And I'm not saying I've made some new friends out here that like I'm close with, but no, it's a tough thing to do. And I know like you're not, you know, you don't drink or smoke, which is like fine. But like I feel like it's also kind of not easier, but if you go out to a club or a bar with someone you know, and then you kind of, you know, meet one of his friends, or like you run into someone like you had a class with, it's like, oh yeah, like then you kind of click, and then you guys start hanging out. So in that sense, it kind of happens, and that's happened to me too. But I mean, because you're taking classes at SDSU, right?
Yeah.
So are they like in person, or are they like online?
No, yeah, they're in person.
Yeah, so I think you'll have a good opportunity of meeting people then. I definitely did a GCU. I've made a couple friends who I still hang out with now from GCU, and then also it's kind of just stemming off meeting friends from them.
Right.
So like, you know, you meet one person and they're like, yeah, I'm doing this weekend, come through, and then you meet their friends off that. So that's kind of how I've made friends out here, which has been cool. But then also, I mean, the last month, Colin moved back to Boise where his family lives, and then Jack, who I'll be living with when we move into our house, he's been in Scottsdale for a while, so like I've kind of had like my own apartment for a month, which has been cool.
Yeah.
But also kind of gets lonely because it's like, oh shit, like who do I hang out with? Like Nico's still here, and I have a couple people to hang out with. So it's definitely not easy, to say the least. But then I think also just my coworkers too. It's been fortunate where I've been able to hang out with them and like do stuff with them.
Yeah, we get along with them.
Yeah, which is good. Get along with them, but no, it's definitely, I don't know, not the easiest to make friends.
Yeah.
But I think it kind of just comes naturally. There's no like blueprint on how to do it.
Right.
It's just, it kind of just happens.
So I kind of have a question regarding this situation. So, like I mentioned before, Joe is the type of person that's like super loyal to the people that he's known for a really long time. Like you're more likely to see him hang out with people that he's been friends with for 5+ years as opposed to people that are like newer in his life. And I would say the same thing about you. There's people that you literally grew up with like since you were a fucking baby that you hang out with now.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you kind of both the question. I'll let Diggy go first, but
Peace, a great time.
perfect. My question to you, Dig, is like, in terms of like making a new relationship with somebody, I don't know when the last time was that you had like, built a new relationship with somebody, but what's kind of like your process that goes into it? Because I know, correct me if I'm wrong, but you kind of go through like trust issues, like you don't necessarily trust all the people that you kind of like get involved with.
Yeah.
So again, my question being, what's kind of the process in terms of making a new relationship and like building upon that? Like how does that whole process work? Because again, I know the fact that it's not easy in terms of making a new relationship because of trust issues that you've had in the past.
Well, see, okay, so I've had a couple friends tell me this. They say I'm a very like different type of person, that like most of my friends, when I meet them, I just know that I'm gonna be friends with them just on the energy. Like I can just feel their energy, and I'm like, this person's pretty cool. I want to get to know them.
So would you say that like you? I don't mean to cut you off, but would you say that you kind of have like a good judgment of character?
Yeah, like a lot of my friends have said like it's like kind of weird how like I always get these weird feelings about people that I may not like. Like there's just something about them. Like they haven't done anything to me, but there's something about them that like just like kind of like makes me wonder like what they got going on, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's just for me, it's different because like if I meet people and I just connect with them, then like I'm gonna be their friend. Like that's it. That's pretty much it. Like if I just connect.
So there's you don't go through like a different process, because I think my biggest point here and like what I'm.
Hold up. What's going on? This shit is unplugged.
No.
Oh, bro. All right, good timing, bro.
Yeah.
Must be your cup.
I think we're good. We're good. It's still recorded.
My question here is there not like, are you not more cautious at times when you first meet somebody? I know you said like you like off rip, like you get the vibe and you're like, okay, like I can be friends with this person. Yeah. However, like my point here is like, do you not go through like a different type of like process in terms of like, okay, like how am I gonna get into this new friendship, relationship, whatever it may be? Is there no specific like? Obviously, there's like Joe said earlier, there's no blueprint for it, but like, is there something that you go through internally in terms of like trusting somebody new?
Well, it's kind of trusting. That's different because trust for me, you got to earn it. Like I'm not gonna just meet you and automatically trust you.
That's what I'm saying though. Like, but to make a friend with somebody, you need to trust them.
Not necessarily.
You don't think so?
I agree with that.
I don't need to trust somebody right off the rip to be there.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying in terms of having like a friend,
Right.
you need to trust somebody, right?
Like, yeah, I guess, but not right off the rip.
That's not what I'm saying though. Like
you know what I'm saying?
to build, like, okay, so
To build a good
we're on different
relationship, yes,
pages,
you
yeah.
need trust.
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
To
Like,
build a good relationship, you need
that's my
trust.
point.
100%.
That's my point.
But you need to build that. And for me, like,
That's kind of what my question is. Like,
Okay.
what's the process of like trusting somebody
how
new?
does someone gain trust? in
Exactly.
you?
Like, how do you
Okay.
how do you build a relationship that like you feel like is gonna move and like be more prominent in your life, as opposed to like you said, you don't necessarily have to like trust somebody just for them to be like so that's the thing that you said, that you don't like have to trust everybody,
Yeah.
but like at that point that's an acquaintance. That's acquaintance,
No,
not a
yeah.
friend.
I mean, like, there's a couple things that people. There's many things that people do that will like increase my trust for them. So like, it's just like, if they feel comfortable enough to tell me their stories, or like, you know, those type of stories that they're not gonna tell anybody, then I'm like, all right, you clearly trust me. Like, I'm gonna listen to you. Like, I'll listen, hear you out. And it's also like your actions, like what you do to other people, whether they're strangers or like your friends. Like, I pay attention to what people are doing. So like, if you do something that I don't like, that's gonna make it very hard. Like, for example, like if you're being a dick to somebody for no reason, like, I'm not gonna trust you as much as if you're like just gonna be kind to someone else just for like, just why not? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like, actions, words, and like, I guess just being there for me in general. Like, if I got something going on and you're like, yo, how you doing? Like, you know, like that type of thing. Like, if you put effort into me, then I'm gonna trust you and put effort into you. That's kind of how I see it.
I have a follow up.
Go ahead.
Unless you were going to say something.
No, go ahead.
Oh, so yeah, like I guess going back to the question Diggy asked me about making friends, it's like what I've realized is I kind of have my friends where, say I'm going out to Old Town or Mill just to go clubbing or to the bars one night. Like, I'll hit up a group of people that like I know are probably going to go out to the bars. But would I invite them over to hang out one-on-one? Probably not. So it's just like kind of the different levels of friendship. But then, you know, say you hang out with these people at the bars a couple times, then you're like, oh yeah, these people are cool. Like, we actually, you know, get along. Like, we have similar interests. Then at that point, you'll be like, you kind of start inviting them to smaller things and like more one-on-one or more like smaller group things, as opposed to hanging out with them in a large group. Because like, again, they're more so an acquaintance to start off with. And that's kind of how it starts. But then building that trust is just hanging out with them, you know, numerous times. And then you're like, yeah, this guy's cool. Like, maybe I'll invite him to watch football on a Sunday or like go golfing or whatever it is. So I think that's been the process for me in Arizona, where I've met people. I'll go clubbing or go hang out with them in a large group setting, and then, like, yeah, these people are cool, and then I'll invite them to kind of hang out more on like a personal basis.
It's kind of funny though, because since doing these podcasts, like talking to friends and stuff like that, it's like, oh shit, I'm friends with you because you've been through stuff too. Like,
no, exactly.
You know,
that's
like,
the cool thing too.
Like,
yeah.
cause like if anyone watching this, they don't know who you are, they wouldn't guess, like, you know, that you've grown up going through that type of stuff, you know. And like, when I first met you, like, we didn't talk about that, you know, like, I didn't know anything about you like that. But now it makes sense. It's like, oh, you went through your own stuff, I went through my stuff, he's went through his stuff, and like, we all kind of have a similar outlook on our own shit, and like, we can relate to it. So you know what I'm saying? Like, we relate to each other based on our trauma, which is actually kind of crazy.
No, it is crazy, and I think that's like
Kind of fucked up.
Yeah, no,
hey man, yeah, no, that's what makes like a
up.
deep friend. Like, yeah, like if I meet someone for the first time, I'm not gonna be like, hey man, what's your trauma? Like, what's your story? It's like, now we're gonna ask them. But no, I think that's also why we've been able to like connect and like be such close friends and just kind of have the relationship we've had the last couple of years.
Yeah.
So I think that's just kind of the cool aspect of it. So yeah, no, it's definitely different than just randomly meeting someone, and then you're not gonna, you know, pin that question on them right off the rip.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is kind of related, but I think one big judgment of character that I pay attention to, I don't know if you guys are going to agree with this, but the way, okay, so first dates, I'll use this as an example. First date.
I go on tons of those.
Like a first date, I'm going to pay attention to how this person interacts with the waitress or waiter.
Okay.
I think that's a huge, like, fucking underrated thing where...
So, can I actually tell you a story after this about a recent first date?
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go to start now.
So
Yeah.
I went on this first date, right?
Hey, congrats, man.
Thank you.
Congrats on the sex.
Bro. No, it wasn't like that. So I went on this first date. I've never met her, met through like social media, never met her or anything like that in person.
Are you name dropping or no?
No, I'm not name dropping. No.
Probably heard you on the podcast. That's why you started talking.
She's probably not gonna watch this podcast.
That's crazy.
So
That's
it's-
fucked up.
I know, it's crazy.
She's not the one for you if that's
No,
the case.
like, I'm thinking we're going on a second date, maybe. But
Whoa,
anyways,
whoa.
so the first thing, right? We're driving. We're going out to this place, and we're driving, and this car kind of like pulls out and like cuts her off type, you know, like she was gassing it, like we're moving, you know, it's like a highway, and a car cuts her off, and literally she put her arm out and like stopped me because she was driving, right? She wanted to drive. Yeah.
Wait, I tipped this actually.
Yeah,
I
she
tipped
wanted to
this.
drive. So she's driving, she hits the brakes and puts her arm out and like stops me from like falling forward into the
protective,
dash.
right? Respect.
And she was like, "Oh my god, are you okay?" And I was like, "Did you just do that?" Like,
Yo, wait.
I love.
No, that's hard actually.
I was
That's
like,
super
I respect
sick.
that.
Like I was like, "Oh, yeah, I'm perfect." Like
I'm okay now.
Yeah, I'm even better now. What?
Like it gave me butterflies. I was like, "Whoa!"
Oh
Like,
shit.
Like no one's done that for me, bro. Like that was like crazy because like usually like I'm the one that's like protective, you know. Like to have someone do that to me on a first date, I was like, "Oh, I like that." You know, like
so-
first impressions, crazy. Just actions, like I said, actions. Like that's what it means a lot to me.
And that's why I bring up the whole like how they treat a waiter or waitress kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because they're strangers, you know what I mean? Like it's just like a human interaction that like could go both ways. Like I feel like a lot of people kind of like it's like underrated in a sense. Like people don't pay attention to the way like somebody treats like a waiter or
Yeah,
waitress.
like they can't be a Karen out there, you know.
That's
Flat.
dude, no
Yeah.
bullshit.
Flat.
No, that's
I mean,
actually
and
facts.
we've also worked in the restaurant
Yeah,
industry,
that's-
so like we get it. So I think that's also another aspect of it.
So, like,
It's like
for
we
us-
understand
Yeah, we
how to
do.
deal with it.
Yeah, we treat
And,
them
like-
better too. Also, like we treat waiters and stuff.
Oh,
like that.
100%.
Because
I
Like
think
the
if
guy
you've
today.
worked- Yeah,
Yeah.
great guy. But yeah, no, I get it. I think also if you've worked in like the restaurant industry or like the retail industry, it's like you get it.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, like there's more
different
sympathy there.
sense. Yeah.
But like even then, I feel like there are some people in that have worked those jobs that are like, I don't know, they kind of get an ego in a sense where they're just like,
Oh, you don't
Oh.
do shit. I know what you do.
yeah, like I know what you do, so like it shouldn't be this hard type shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like I
Like
just
I'm paying your paycheck type shit.
exactly, which I fucking hate in my opinion. I think having it like that first impression is ass. Like if you're gonna be fucked up to the waiter or waitress that we have, I like no bullshit. That carries a lot of weight for me.
Yeah.
Like that just, you know what I'm saying? Like that, I feel like that says a lot about like the future of how like you treat certain people in certain situations. But whatever. I feel like that's super off topic. Whatever.
It happens.
But I don't know. Where are we at here?
53 minutes.
53
It's gonna
minutes.
be a
All
long
right.
one.
So we're running, yeah, you know.
Well, two-parter.
You know, it's
It's not bad. We're doing all right.
Yeah.
Okay, this is super off topic, and you guys said that
Oh my
I
God.
probably should have put this in here, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
oh no,
Ass or tits?
I can't do this.
You're not doing it. You got to do it.
Okay, Joey first.
Personality. I mean, I guess
We
ass.
mean this in the most respectful way possible.
That's
I
why
guess
don't wanna do
ass,
it.
but every woman is beautiful in their own way.
Yeah, I agree. Every woman is beautiful in their own way. However, I'm a big ass guy.
Yeah, me too. Me too. But if they have both,
You're not answering?
No, yeah,
That's
no,
just
I agree.
phenomenal.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right.
All right,
We're
next
gonna,
question.
It's not important to me.
no, not important.
No, it's not important, but it's just like an extra. It's like a bonus point.
Yeah, no.
Sick.
Yeah, no, of course.
Yeah, no personality.
It's like
Yeah,
if
no.
I was tall, you know, they're like, oh yeah.
yeah,
you know?
shout out us short kings here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
no
Under
cap.
6 feet,
Like-
all of us. Let's go.
Okay, I'm just not gonna say anything. We're just
Wait,
gonna,
no, speak
no,
up.
no, no.
Go
I'm
ahead.
gonna get-
No, speak
I'm
up.
gonna get canceled.
Let's
No,
not,
say it.
let's
Say
not.
it.
I'm not.
Say it.
Nope.
Are you
Edit
dead
it out.
ass?
I'm dead
Edit
ass.
it
You're
out.
not
I'm
doing
gonna
it?
get canceled.
We'll edit it out.
No.
Okay, fine. Whatever.
Short kings.
Okay, this is more. Whoa, this kind of scares me sometimes.
Scary movies.
5-year plan.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Do you worry about your future
What's this year?
as well as do you fear feeling like stuck?
Whew. All right, guys. buckle up.
Hold
This is
on.
gonna be a
I
long
know.
one.
I know.
We're already an hour. This might be another 2 hours.
Yeah,
But,
no bullshit.
No, I mean, I guess.
I'll be right back.
Again, Jesus, guy.
Come on, man.
Hey,
You might as well
someone.
end it soon, then. This
Nah,
guy
don't be. No, hold on.
gets up
Nah,
one more time.
Someone needs
Wait,
to keep a
what?
tally in the comments.
Yeah,
Just like
yeah. Keep
or
a tally in the
something
comments.
yourself.
Let me know how often I go to the bathroom. But
That's
fuck
3.
it.
This is 3. Yeah, Dave. No, just missed an important question that you asked.
Yeah.
listening.
No, you're
Ask
not.
the question.
Anyway,
Leaves.
5-year plan. And the stuck thing. I think my biggest fear in life, it's always been like even as a kid, it's always been being stuck in life.
Right.
And whether that's stuck in a relationship, stuck in a job, stuck in anything, for some reason that's always been my biggest fear because it's like being claustrophobic. Like I hate feeling trapped in any aspect of my life. So like my 5-year plan, it's kind of, I don't know. Again, I always look at it, like looking back 5 years ago, I was that my senior year of high school, I think? Yeah, 5 years ago, senior year of high school. So I would have just graduated, whatever.
Okay.
So it's like looking back and looking where I'm at now, it's like I would have never predicted it. It's like, dude, you're going to be living in Arizona, downtown Phoenix with like Colin, Jack, both cool guys you've met, you know, Colin, you know, from high school, Seven back from people you've met in the past, stuff like that. But it's like, I never would have predicted where I'm at now. And then now, like predicting another 5 years, it's like, I have no idea. I mean, I'll be 28, almost turning 29. Birthday's in July. So it's like, yeah, it's a crazy question because I don't know where I'm going to be.
Yeah, like in 5 years from now.
Yeah, it's a lot to think about. But
I don't know.
But then also like thinking about where I'm at in the present, like I guess going back to like the mental health aspect of it and like kind of struggling with anxiety. And I kind of brought up earlier with living here now officially and not just like visiting, like going here for college. That's definitely been like a tough transition for me the last 10 months since I moved here in August. Because it's like, yeah, I'm actually here permanently now. It's like, I'm not just here for college and then I'll go back home to California.
Why is that difficult for you?
I think it was just growing up and kind of transitioning to like the adulting life and kind of growing your professional career. Because for me personally, you know, I got my full-time offer at ASU. I'm 23, just out of college. I'm very thankful for it in the sports industry, which is, again, what I've, you know, cheesily said is like my first love, like sports and football. And just being able to work in sports and, you know, I'm a ticket sales rep, so I sell 10 ticketed sports across ASU. It has its, you know, pros and cons like any job. But I guess understanding how blessed I've been and even thinking back to last year where I graduated, I moved home for the summer. I had no idea where I was going to be. I was like, dude, if I just get this one break, like if I just get this one opportunity, it's like I'm going to be so happy. I'm not going to take it for granted. And then I get the opportunity and like I do well, but then there's still those you know, you have a bad day, you have a bad week, you've had a bad month or two. It's like, damn, man, like, what are you doing? It's like,
is it worth it kind of thing?
Exactly. It's like, is this what you want to do for your life? And it's like, is this where you want to be at? But then it's, again, reminding yourself, for me, it's like, dude, you're 23, you have a full-time job in the industry you like. It might not be what you're going to do your whole career, but you think back to where you were a year ago and you're like, this is what you were wishing for. So it's like that aspect of the grass is always greener. And it's like, yeah, well, if I just had this job, it's like, oh, I'd be so much happier. Or if I just had this, I'd be so much happier.
Yeah.
But it's like, would you? Because last year, I'm wishing for what I have now.
Yeah. Right.
And now it's not enough. So the 5-year plan, it's like, I don't know where I'm going to end up. I mean, hopefully it's in a job that I like. And again, my biggest fear in life is being stuck in any aspect. So I think understanding like how fortunate I am for where I'm at, and the job I have and the people I've met and like the experiences I've gone through, it's like just being thankful and grateful for that. I think has definitely helped my mental health. And like, no, I struggled the first couple months I was out here because I was away from my family. And again, it's just
that was my next question.
Yeah, no, and I mean, as you know, like my
very,
uncle,
very, very, very family oriented.
Very family oriented. I mean, my nephew Caleb, like, you know, my nephew Caden, my niece Cora, it's like they're pretty much my whole world and just my whole family, like aunt, uncle. They're my biggest heroes to this day. They always will be. It's like not being with them is kind of hard, but then also just Craig being one of my biggest inspirations and him being in sales and him being so successful is kind of what led me to being in this career. And then I kind of, like, I think back on it, it's funny because Craig's been in sales for his whole career. That's kind of been his thing. He's been phenomenal at it. One of my best mentors. Carol, my aunt, works in education, works at Cal Lutheran. Before that, worked at a D3 college in Illinois. And like me, my biggest passion is sports. And it's like, I work at Arizona State University, so a college. My aunt has always been education.
And sales.
I'm in sales, which Craig was.
That's low-key crazy. I never even thought about that.
And then I'm in sports, which I love. And it's like, dude, it's like, holy shit. Like, the whirlwind of how that came together, it's just like, it's insane.
I want to shift gears a little bit, if you don't mind.
Yeah, go for it.
I don't mean to cut you off.
No, you're fine. I mean,
but this is something that's like... So I just want to ask a question regarding your relationship with Uncle Craig. This is again. I feel like this might be a long episode, bro. I'm not kidding.
Dude, we might have to. You guys might have to two-part this, to be honest. Yeah, I apologize.
No way. I mean, it's possible.
I apologize.
But my biggest thing is okay. So a lot of people don't know. I'm more aware of it because you and I are best friends. But Uncle Craig is like hard, bro. Like he's a hard guy on you.
Yeah, he's a hard ass.
But my biggest question here, I think, because there's so many questions that I feel like I could ask about your relationship with Uncle Craig. But I think the biggest thing that I want to ask, and the most curious I feel like I am, is regarding the relationship that you guys have and like what positive effect it's had on you. Because I know he's super hard on you and he's always like wanting you to do better for yourself, but he's also a tough love kind of guy.
No, he
you
is.
know.
I
So
mean, yeah, this is gonna be.
just go ahead, like do your thing. Go ahead.
A long answer.
No, please go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, if we're getting really deep, like, yeah, I would say he saved my life, and he's my biggest role model, my hero in life. I don't think I've ever really said that to him, but like, the crazy.
Hopefully he watches this.
Yeah, hopefully. The crazy. Some of the parts, I don't know. You can skip through. You can just cut this part. But no, I mean, just everything that he's done for me, and just what I've seen him do for his family. Like he's 68 years old. He's still working hard.
Damn.
He looks great.
No,
His workout regimen is just
he's a
insane.
goat, actually.
But no, like he's 68. Like he's still working, and like just that work mentality. But I understand it because he gets it from his dad, who was, who I knew to be my gramps. Like he was a salesman for Breyers ice cream, and he worked literally until he passed away when he was like 84.
Fire.
Like he was working until like he died pretty much, and he was stubborn SOB, same like Craig. But that's all they know is like hard work, and that's all they know is supporting their family. And like Craig's joked about it before. He's like, yeah, if I didn't have kids, and if I didn't have you, like I would have been retired at 50 and had 2 Porsches and a beach house in Carpinteria. But like he's always been so family oriented, and I've admired him for it because, as you know, like I don't want to go too deep into it, but I'm gonna say my sister Veronica had her son Caleb, and just as things with that, and like he supported them and anything that they need, and obviously that is just not tough, but it's another thing to take on, another responsibility. Anyway, so yeah, no, he's helped his family out a lot, and then even Jesse, my other sister, and Colin, her husband, like they were living in Illinois at the time, and then I know he helped them out a little bit, just kind of transition to move out of California. It's like, as you know, like they literally live 5 minutes away from where we live, so it's just a big thing for him to always have the family together. So like I've respected that aspect, and then just what he does in Africa, and like what I've been able to do and go there twice and just kind of see the impact that he has on the people there in Tanzania, and just the heart that he has to help people, and just kind of his love he has for like the Lord and everything. And then also just the hard work mentality, like you said, like being a hard ass. Like he's definitely a hard ass on me. Like we would bicker and fight because again, I'm a stubborn person. I've always has been. So as I got older, it's like 2 men in the house because most of it's girls. It's like we're gonna bicker because like we're 2 men, we have different opinions. But I love him for it, and yeah, I guess it's kind of that old mentality. It's like, well, I don't see things the way you see it, but I respect him for his point of view. But no, he's definitely my biggest role model, and like I can really go to him for any question I have. And then one thing that he said to me was he was a successful traveling salesman for a number of years at Molex, which is an electronics company, and he was kind of away from Jesse and Ronnie for a while, just traveling so much. And then he opened up his own shop when he adopted me, and now he moved out to California and working in the packaging industry. But like one thing they were like, yeah, people would be like, yeah, like you saved like, Joey's life, whatever. And he was like, no, like he saved mine. So I was like, that's like the biggest thing for me.
That was, when you told me that was crazy.
And it's just like, yeah. So I've always kind of remembered that, and it's just like, damn, like that's crazy, because like he definitely saved my life, and like he's my biggest role model / hero just for everything he does, family aspect, and just working hard. And I'll be quick, but one story I remember, he was a young salesman, California. He got transitioned to California from, I forget where he was at before, but like the boss was like, had a thing against California. He's like, oh, they're typical, whatever, stereotype against them. And Craig would show up like 4:30 a.m. like before his boss got to the office, and like would beat him there and like talk to him and just kind of like pick his brain about things, and just like the mentality and the work ethic that he has, it's like something that I'm still trying to develop and, you know, instill in myself. But without him, I don't really know where I would be at right now. So
yeah. No, I hear you. So we're gonna cut this kind of abruptly, but I appreciate the conversation, Joe. Like, I feel like a lot of people will learn a lot from kind of what you shared. I think the biggest thing to take away is that trust issues are like very prominent really anywhere. And I feel like it roots from like very deep places. However, again, I think that, you know, people build relationships, but it's hard for them to, you know, take that extra step. Like we talked about the whole like acquaintance thing and like being able to like, you know, just be friends to a certain extent, right? So again, I think that, like I said before, I think the biggest thing to take away here is trust issues in terms of relationships that you've had with not only your parents but also just people that you know meet day to day life. I think there again, like I said before, I think there's a lot to take away from, you know, the experiences that you've gone through, Joe. And I mentioned earlier today, you're an inspiration. You know what I'm saying? Like you've been through a lot. You've dealt with a lot, and I don't like to compare people's issues because emotions run deep either side of it.
I've always been the same way with comparing my issues and then others, but
right, because you know,
I hate doing that.
Stuff that hurts you to an extent may have the same effect on me for something completely different.
Exactly.
You know, so again, I don't think comparing issues is healthy. I don't think it's fair. Because people go through things that other people may not understand, but it resonates in you in a different way. Again, I hate to cut this short, but we've had some technical difficulties. But I think that being said, we're gonna.
No. Hold up. Okay.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, no, you better be kidding.
Wait, what did he say? No, I think this is good.
I don't know anything about
no. I think
stuff.
No, I think this is good because there's a lot to Joe's story, so I feel like we're more inclined to kind of have Joe come back, which is
have to.
Yeah, which is a good thing. There's a lot that he has that he's got a lot of wisdom.
We already talked about so much, and we're already like an hour and 10 in. You know,
yeah.
Like, we
So
talked about so much.
Yeah. So again, I feel like I said, we're gonna need to bring Joe on for episode.
You gotta come to Cali now.
For another episode.
I'll be back.
I ain't coming back to this shithole. 112
It's 100.
degrees.
Yeah, you guys give it a bad time. It's hot out. Other 7 months out of the year. Beautiful place. Beautiful things to do, but
yeah,
whatever.
No, it's cool. Whatever. We'll figure it out. Joe's gonna come out. We're gonna do episode 2 probably somewhere in Cali. But again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in to episode 3 of the Purpose Podcast. Again, I apologize that we've kind of been, you know, away for a while, but you know, life happens at times. I had finals to go through. I know Diggy had finals to go through as well. We've had, you know, issues with tech stuff, so it happens. But moving forward, like I said prior, I think we're gonna try to have a more consistent schedule. But again, episode 3, Purpose Podcast. I'm Dave.
And I'm Diggy.
I'm Joey. Sorry.
Please leave a comment, like, subscribe. Trust me, it means a lot more than you guys realize it does. I've gotten positive feedback from not only my friends, but like people that I don't really speak to that much, and that speaks volumes to me. I know I can say the same for Diggy. People reaching out and saying nice things about it. It brings a lot more passion to our purpose, you know. So thank you guys again. Like I said, probably 47 times now. This has been episode 3. Thank you guys, and we'll see you next time. Appreciate it.